Hello, I'm going to make a little video on feet, and this is for. I seem to be inundated right now. Not inundated. I've had a few people contact me and say, "Why have I got plantar fasciitis? How come these ice things and whatever I'm doing and golf ball stuff on my feet's not working?" And so it's probably because it's a different type of foot pain. There's lots of different types. And all I can do and share with people is what I do for mine. My plantar fasciitis started because I had a large selection of flip-flops that I used to wear all the time for years on end. And it just buggered them up. And so a combination of self-care and actually using Birkenstocks and never throwing all my flip-flops away works. But if I don't do my self-care and my calves, it comes back again quite easily. So it's like, once you get it, you got it. So it's something you have to manage. So what I find for me is when I get the pain underneath my foot, for me, I can get it like heel to toe, but just underneath my arch, but especially underneath my big toe from like gripping the flip-flops. And it doesn't matter how much I muck about with the sole of my foot, it can give instant relief, but then just comes back. Because for me, I find the problem isn't with my foot, it's the tissue in my calf and my leg that's causing the issue. So, I have a collection of implements and devices here. I'm just missing my cat o' nine tails. So, the first thing that you can do is just start breaking down the calf. There can be a lot of crap inside here that stops the tissue from sliding properly and then creates tension on the sole of the foot. So once you release this, the tension is released on the sole of the foot. So, easiest thing, because you can just carry it around with you, is your lacrosse ball. What I do is I pick my bum up and I just roll up and down nice and steady, and I'm turning the leg until I find the good bits. When I find the good bits, I can just, there's no wrong way to do it. Just hang out there and just go into it. And I find this is really good to do before you go to bed, because if you wake up in the morning and you've got foot pain, that tissue is tightened up throughout the night, so it avoids that, and you can wake up and not be in as much pain the next day. Word of warning, you never do any calf or ankle work if you're going to be running or hiking, because it destabilizes the ankle. So as we break down this tissue, it makes the ankle weaker for a little while. That's why it's best to be done before you go to bed. So you would never do this and go and play soccer, because you will break your ankle. Up and down, moving around. Sometimes that's just enough. Really getting into the side bits. Now the second part is the muscle on the front called the tibialis anterior. So what I'm going to do here is trap the tibialis anterior between the tibia and the ball, and then roll up and down. And if you've got pain at the back, typically this is going to give you some information as well. So, there we go. And we're just breaking down the opposite antagonist to the calf. Next thing we can do is the soleus. So you've got your gastrocs, the big one, the pretty one. Then you've got another one underneath called your soleus. So with a wooden spoon or a specific implement, you can get that right into that area and then start moving this around. And it's, you know when you've got it, because it's like, what is that crap? And then you can start breaking that down as I'm moving my ankle, or even just direct pressure just to break that crap down. Get into it, get into it, get into it. And then again up here, get into it, get into it, get into it. So sometimes you've got a big foot, or this is just too pinpointy and painful, so you can use a softball, or you might not have one of these. This is something I made. Nice to roll up and down. It's a kind of way, and it just hits it in a different way. This is just PVC piping with bicycle inner tube wrapped around it. Cost me about $2 to make, and it's my favourite roller. And I can't get it any other way. As soon as I found that lump on the inside, I pop that there and then floss it out. There we go. And then of course there are regular rollers. All works well. Ow! always this right side for me. So, break this tissue down, break that tissue down, get into the soleus, which is lying underneath, break that down. Even just right on your Achilles, just there, and then as soon as you break it down, circulation gets into it, that tissue becomes more pliable and manageable, and I'm sure it has worked with some people where they actually, sole of their foot and muck about with things like that. All I can speak of is from personal experience, and it doesn't help me. It helps me a little bit initially, but then it just, I don't know, for me, it just seems to make the problem worse. So I ignore my foot entirely and then just focus on my calf, my lower leg, this entire area. So I hope that's useful and helpful. Any problems, shoot me a line and tell me how it's going. And no trampolining, no swing dancing, no pole vaulting, no anything that requires stability in your ankle, certainly no soccer or multi-directional movements after you've done this work. It needs a night of sleep on it for your central nervous system to get that reactivated and re-engaged. And I would probably do some really good, if I'm going to be doing any multi-plane movements, probably get those calves switched on. But ideally I would avoid, and if I'm in pain anyway and I'm doing lower limb work, I'd probably avoid anything that's going to challenge the stability of my ankle for a while. And if I'm going to be hiking, you need proper boots on to stabilize your calf. Because if your ankle isn't stabilized, then your calf is working too hard anyway. So get proper calf height boots. That's going to help the sole of your foot for the additional support. Okay, tons of information. Take what you need, throw away what you don't want. And let's go pain-free with your feet. Thank you.